What if I told you that the reason you have not yet reached the level you dream about has nothing to do with luck, education, connections, or even effort? What if the real reason is something far quieter, something invisible, something running inside you right now? There is a loop inside every human mind, a silent cycle that repeats itself every single day. And that loop is either building your success or quietly burying it. Most people never discover this loop. They live their entire lives reacting to it instead of commanding it. Tonight you will see it, and once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. Every outcome you have in your life right now was first born as a thought, not a wish, not a hope, a repeated thought. The mind does not respond to what you think once. It responds to what you think often. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings shape your actions. Your actions produce your results. Your results then feed your beliefs. And those beliefs return to shape your next thoughts. That is the loop. Thought becomes feeling. Feeling becomes action. Action becomes result. Result becomes belief. Belief becomes the next thought. And so the cycle continues. This is why two people can read the same books, hear the same advice, and live in the same world, yet end their lives in entirely different places. One is climbing, the other is repeating. Now here is the truth that unsettles most people. Your current results are not random. They are evidence. They are proof of the loop you have been running. And if you do not deliberately install a new loop, your life will continue to replay the old one. You do not rise to your hopes. You fall to your loops. Look closely at your daily inner dialogue, the words you whisper to yourself when no one is watching, the stories you repeat about money, about opportunity, about your worth, about what people like you can or cannot do. Those are not thoughts. They are commands. They instruct your nervous system how much energy to release. They instruct your brain what risks to avoid. They instruct your attention what possibilities to ignore. Your mind is a machine that builds the world it is trained to expect, and expectation is the architect of reality. Here is the dangerous part. The loop does not need your permission. It will run whether you guide it or not, which means that inaction is still a decision. You are either programming your future or you are repeating your past. The loop begins in the unseen world. A quiet assumption, a silent conclusion, a belief so familiar you no longer question it. Then it becomes emotion. Emotion becomes behavior. Behavior becomes habit. Habit becomes destiny. This is how poverty becomes permanent. This is how success becomes inevitable. Now listen carefully. You do not change your life by changing your circumstances. You change your life by changing the loop that creates those circumstances. Most people try to work harder, but effort does not override programming. A misaligned loop will sabotage even the most disciplined person. You can hustle all day, but your subconscious will quietly steer you back to the level it believes you belong at. That is why progress often feels like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. You are fighting a system you did not design, but you can redesign it. Here is how the new loop is built. First, you plant a new dominant thought, not a wish, not a fantasy, a decision, a clear, emotionally charged declaration of identity. I am becoming financially independent. I am building a disciplined mind. I am creating a powerful future. This is not affirmation. This is instruction. Next, you attach feeling to it. Your nervous system does not respond to words. It responds to emotion. Emotion tells the subconscious, this matters. The stronger the feeling, the deeper the instruction is installed. Then emotion drives action, not forced action. Natural action. Your behavior shifts because your identity has shifted, and action produces results. Small results at first, but real ones. Those results become evidence. Evidence becomes belief. Belief strengthens the thought, and now the loop begins working for you instead of against you. This is how momentum is born. Momentum is not willpower. It is alignment. Now your actions feel lighter. Your decisions feel clearer. Your resistance feels weaker, not because life became easier, but because your internal system is finally pulling in the same direction. Here is where most people fail. They try to skip the belief stage. They try to skip the emotional conditioning. They try to jump straight into action. That creates burnout. That creates frustration. That creates the illusion of effort without the reward of progress. But when the loop is correct, progress feels natural. You stop pushing uphill. You start walking forward. Your environment begins to change because your perception has changed. Your perception changes because your identity has changed. Your identity changes because your dominant thought has changed. And suddenly, doors you never noticed before are visible. Opportunities that once felt distant begin to feel reachable. Not because the world moved, but because you did. The loop is not about luck. It is not about talent. It is not about privilege. It is about programming. Every successful person is running a loop that produces expansion. Every struggling person is running a loop that produces limitation. Both feel natural to the person running them, and that is why change feels uncomfortable at first. You are not fighting laziness. You are not fighting fear. You are fighting your current loop. But the moment the new loop begins to take hold, the resistance weakens. What once felt hard begins to feel normal. What once felt impossible begins to feel logical. And one day, you will look back and realize that the version of you who doubted was simply running a different program. The loop did not change your future. It changed your identity. And identity changes everything. From this day forward, your responsibility is clear. Guard your dominant thoughts. Choose your emotional inputs. Watch your internal language. Reward small victories. Feed the evidence. Do not allow your old loop to speak louder than your new one, because your future is not decided by fate. It is decided by repetition. Your life is not a mystery. It is a system. And tonight you have been handed the blueprint. The moment you leave this message, the loop will continue to run. The only question is, will it keep building the life you have, or will it finally begin building the life you were meant to live?